this year, 2022, we're going to get back to my metal roots, which I haven't been in a while. But I've always had metal in my blood. And, it's time to get back to metal. This is top 10 metal albums of 2022. So I'm going to start things off with Arch Enemy, Deceivers. A while back, when Arch Enemy got their new album, wasn't sure if I liked the band. I do like the new lead singer. She's good. Deceivers is a good spot for the 10 spot. If you can check out that album, listen to Handshake with Hell. That's probably the best song on that album. Number 9. We're going with Five Finger Death Punch with Afterlife. Now, I know there's a lot of people who think they're like this goofy clown type of band, but they're talented for as far as metal goes, and I like them. They're a good band. Like if you're sitting at home and you're like, you're playing some Call of Duty or some Apex Legends, just pounding, Monster, and just blast like Five Finger Death Punch. I really like the one song, Welcome to the Circus, and it's a real fun song. Just the whole album's real fun. Next up, we got a band reminiscent of old school Judas Priest, and that is Riot City. Now this band, with their latest album, I'm not really familiar with Riot City, but throughout the metal, metal channels, they're like, check out this band. And sure enough, they're a throwback to Judas Priest and like Screaming for Vengeance days and Iron Maiden, the Killers album. Check out the Riot City. I'm at my number 8 spot. Right away, the first track on the album will just blow you back to the 80s. And they're not like, like a jokey, like Steel Panther. They're like straight up. They feel like they never left. And it's a good thing. It's not like a homage joke. They're like straight out of British metal. Riot City at number 8. Number 7, we got Ozzy Osbourne with Patient number 9. Listen, Ozzy, when he started Visitor of the Oz in 1981, that was 40 years ago. And 10 years before that, he started Black Sabbath. So he's been rocking heavy metal longer than some people have been alive. And the Patient number 9 album is kind of, it's kind of what I wanted him to put out. Something that feels like a tribute, but not sad. It's just like, when COVID hit, I'm sure Ozzy was seething at the bit to just get back and be heavy metal. Not like, all right, I'm going to do a tribute. No, this is like, if I had to compare it, it's like his old stuff. It's like No Rest for the Wicked. That was peak Ozzy. Osmosis, that whole area. This is a really solid album for Ozzy Osbourne. Coming up at number 6 is Voivod, Synchro Anarchy. I've always liked the artwork on Voivod's albums. Always, it reminded me of like Judge Dredd or some crazy British Mad Max feature. And their music translates into that sort of scenario where it's just futuristic, dystopic, like end of the world type of, just wastelands type of music. This new album, though, kind of reels in all of their albums from the 80s and 90s. And this is kind of like, this is who we are. We are a weird prog metal band. And this new album I love, and I plan on deep diving all of their older stuff. I really recommend their latest album, though, because it really defines who Voivod's, who they are as a band. And the first time I heard of them was when Jason Newsted, from when he left Metallica to join this band. But that's a long time ago. Now they've really defined themselves with this new album. Voivod at number 6. Let's get into some honorable mentions. So, Spirit World Death Western. I just started listening to this album. I'm seeing it on a lot of people's metal lists, like people who review metal all year long. They're saying this is one of the best metal albums, but I've only got a chance to listen to it. Few songs, I didn't get all the way through it. It's like Mastodon meets Mastodon if they made an album based on From Dusk Till Dawn. Which is a pretty awesome combination, but it didn't make my list because I didn't have enough time to soak it in. Next up, I have Chaosium, Third Eye. These guys are really good. Like, they sound like Korn mixed with Typo Negative. Check out Chaosium. I think they're good. They're pretty fun. If you like Korn, try out Chaosium. Epica is always great. If you like metal with a mixture of like the alto soprano female singer, with the symphonic and the metal, it's called Alchemy, the Alchemy Project. Check that album out. This is kind of a joke pick because it's not a good album. They're kind of like this really butt rock, kind of like Monster Maggot, but meets Guar. I guess they're called Psycho Sinner, Eat the Flames. It's not a good album, but like if you listen to it, it's kind of fun. Coming at number 5, Motionless in White, with the score in The End of the World. Like, I wasn't sure if I was going to like these guys because I thought when I saw the lead singer, who was like a combination of Marilyn Manson and Rhea Ripley from WWE, I was like, or like Black Veil Brides. I didn't think I'd dig these guys. And honestly, like, kind of like, they have this sort of, like, kind of like Ghosts, but they're like horror new metal, which is awesome. And if you check them out, listen to Werewolf and Slaughterhouse. That's an awesome song. It's probably the hardest song in the album. Then, coming at number 4, which brings us to number 4, who I just mentioned, Ghost, with Imperium. Listen, I love Ghost. All right, say what you want with the Scooby-Doo metal, and they're commercial and they're radio friendly, and they're not heavy. Listen, they're getting the genre out there. They're getting people listening to metal, just like 10 years ago, Metalopolis. They were all popular, and Ghost is good. And when I heard Hunter's Moon on the Halloween soundtrack, like, I was like, oh, I love this. Like, I love the vibe they put out, the Halloween vibe they put out. Call Me Little Sunshine and Spillways. I listen to those songs over and over and over. Like, honestly, when we get to my number 1 and Ghost, I've been spinning their albums all year. I've been spinning a lot of metal this year. All right, so this. I just got into these guys. Bad Omens. Death of Peace of Mind. Awesome band. Like, they're not heavy, but they got like a real good vibe to them, and I've been listening to this whole album. It's really good. The lead singer has a beautiful voice, and they're real melodic metal. Really good band. Bad Omens. They're at 3. And at number 2, we got Slipknot and The End So Far. this is the album I be wanting Corey Taylor to put together. And I know it took a lot of like bad things to happen to the band for this album to come out, but this is like, this goes back, this is what it goes back to subliminal messages and the first album. It's a combination of those albums, and I think if you want to jump in on point to get back into Slipknot, this album's, it's time to come back to Slipknot, because this is a great metal album. And the final album is Lorna Shore with The Pain Remains. I remember I was just stung by this album. I was just like, it was like it stuck its knife right into me. I'm like, oh, it was just like the meanest thing I've heard in metal in a long time. It's the meanest metal album I've heard since the first Lamb of God album. And they're a New Jersey band, but once they got Will Ramos, they took a turn for the awesome. And if you check out any of the songs on this album, check out Sun Eater and the trilogy of The Pain Remains, which is Dancing with Flames, that's my favorite out of the trilogy. So let me know what your favorite metal albums of the year were. Alright? Peace out, everyone.